OMT Online Dynasty, we are back for our second part of our two-part game of the week from week 9. Yes, technically we have advanced week 10 at this point, but we had so many gosh dang good user games, much like we had in week 7. One episode wasn't enough to cover it all, so in the last one we went over everything that happened in the American and Conference USA. Today is going to be about the Mountain West and the Sun Belt, with our main event featuring Kay and his New Mexico State Aggies taking on Spoofman and the Fresno State Bulldogs. We're also going to feature some game breaks in a top 15 matchup we had in the Mountain West, with the defending national champion Boder and his Utah State Aggies taking on number 4 ranked in the country Wes and the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes. We've got some Sun Belt highlights coming up, with FIU taking on USF in a Sunshine State showdown. I don't know why I give myself such tongue twisters sometimes. As well as our future opponent, Georgia State, our week 10 user game we got coming up here, taking on Appalachian State in what easily could have been the game of the week if we didn't just feature both of those squads. That's why we got the little blocker over the Georgia State record. No spoilers allowed here. So if this is the first one of these you have ever seen, what this is, it is a 32 user online dynasty. We have broken them into 4 separate conferences with 8 teams in each, and we are heading down the home stretch, and we've got some very exciting conference races coming up. And if you are interested in potentially joining this dynasty, it is all going to be done through the Discord. We do have a waitlist going on in there. The link for that is down in the description. The waitlist is about 20 people, so you're going to have a little bit of patience. We've lost 4 so far this year, so eventually we're going to work our way through it, and we are, of course, going to be doing this in College Football 27, and the waitlist is going to stay the same for that. So all of that covered, all of that said, I think let's just go take a quick look at the depth charts of New Mexico State and Fresno State, and then we can just hop right into the game. Starting with the visiting squad, Kay and his New Mexico State boys. Now, he did just take them over before the transfer portal between years 2 and 3, so then there's only so much you can really do when you take over a very low overall squad. You just kind of got to get whatever you can get. So he's only going to be a 57 overall half-star program here. But there's some pieces on this team, I'm telling you. I do think he's mentioned he's going to be leaving New Mexico State after this year. I wish they could have some like tampering. Like before you leave New Mexico State, slip a few notes in a few lockers. Say, I'm going to San Jose State, just for an example. Why don't you follow me, bud? And this quarterback might not be the worst. He is only 5'9", 173, so he's a teeny tiny little guy, but as a true freshman, he's 78 overall, and look at his throwing stats: 94 throw power, 89 short, 84 medium, 85 deep. You could do a lot worse than that. We'll see if that height actually comes into play here. Leading up into the game being released, they talked a lot about, and they showed Tommy Castellanos as their poster boy for a short guy, how they'd kind of struggle on those shorter intermediate throws, getting ball over the offensive line. Maybe they can't see. So we'll see if that actually comes into play here. Halfback is going to be Jamie O'Shea from the Emerald Isle of Buford, Georgia. Safety valve and takeoff, 90 speed, 96 XL. I mean, very solid. Only 74 overall. This is kind of going to be a theme we're going to see across the board. And I've said before, I don't think overall means all that much compared to, as long as you have solid enough attributes and maybe a few decent abilities and stuff, you could be a 70 overall. Our ODU starting free safety is like a 72 overall, but he's got ball hawk. He's 6'2" and like 90 speed. That's all we need. That's all we care about. Wide receiver wise, not a bad group. Top 5 are all 88 speed or above. Got 6'5". See? Oh, he's a redshirt junior, but still, slip a note into that guy. We got a bronze shifty on Jaden Bell. We got 90 speed, 88 speed. We got 6'4", 89 speed, AJ Williams. So I like how this offense is set up for New Mexico, to be perfectly honest with you. Solid tight end too, 6'3", 80 speed. We got a true freshman with 84 speed down here, Terrell Douglas. There are pieces on this squad. I'm trying to tell you. I'm doing my best to give you a heads up. There are pieces on this New Mexico State squad. Even though you're only a 57 overall, as of right now, you got some good young guys on this team. Defensively, maybe not quite as much. Defense or left edge, not much there. Right edge, a workhorse is better than nothing, I guess. Defensive tackle, more workhorse. Okay. So yeah, not the best defensive line. Let's check the linebackers here really quick. Nothing really at will. Slip a note. Another guy, we're slipping a note to Tyree Carlisle. Come with me, buddy. Even though you're a normal dev trait, you're 75 overall, 87 speed, 89 XL, 5'11", 227 pounds. Yeah, we like the looks of that Mike linebacker. And this Will isn't bad either. He is a redshirt senior though, 84 speed, also 5'11", so a little bit short at linebacker, but I like the looks of him. Corner, 6'3". Another note, getting slipped to Marquise Moon. Only 71 overall, normal dev trait, but you're 6'3", you're 93 speed, 98 excel. That's gonna find a spot on the field. Anything else we got here? Another 90 speed, only 5'9". So Marquise Moon, definitely a very good looking corner though for New Mexico State. Free safety, 83 overall, 91 speed, 94 excel. Always a redshirt senior, but he's an impact dev trait, very good free safety. I like the secondary a lot. We got a silver robber here. Was this guy on Old Dominion? The last name seems kind of familiar. I feel like he was a strong safety force at one point, but I could be remembering that totally wrong. So, like I said, New Mexico State, we've got some pieces pretty much everywhere. I'm not the biggest fan of the defensive line, but I like the skill positions on offense. I really like that secondary. There's a few good linebackers in there, so all things considered, not too shabby. Let's go take a quick look at Fresno. Now, we have featured Fresno a few times. I don't remember if it was Spoofman or whoever it was that had Fresno before, but I know we've done a few things on the Bulldogs of Fresno State, and we actually have a quarterback change. Every other time, I know it has been Howie Mandel with his resistance and step up. This time, we are going to see Eli Baggs in at quarterback with pull down, on time, mobile, deadeye, 92 throw power. Let's see his accuracies. Accuracies aren't great, but that 92 throw power and a couple extra abilities and a little bit better speed. I see the vision here with Eli Baggs at quarterback. We know they have a good halfback with Devon Rivers. Reminds me a lot of Devin Roche, or Roche if you actually want to say his name properly, of Old Dominion, where none of his stats really jump out the page at you, but the guy's a ball player, man. He'll get open, he'll break tackles, he'll make some plays. So we expect to see some of that from Rivers throughout this one. Wide receiver wise, Jaleel Diehard McLean, wide receiver 1, 82 overall, 93 speed. Love the looks of that. Jordan Malaulu, 360 inside step, another 90 speed. So our top 3 receivers are all solid here with the Givens tree rounding that out, but then boy does it drop off a cliff after that, down to 65 overall and 64 overall. So I'm not expecting to see too many 4 wide receiver sets here from Fresno, and tight end not great here either. I'd almost rather have Incoom just to get a 79 speed and 6'5" out there, but your options are pretty limited here with the Bulldogs. Quick glance at the offensive line. We do got some abilities on our left guard, which is nice, but a pretty standard offensive line for this dynasty. Edge rushers, we got a silver quick jump on one side. Love the looks of that. We got a bronze quick jump on the other. Okay, now you got my attention a little bit here, Fresno. I like the halfback and wide receivers right away. Defensive, you got 2 quick jumps on the defensive line. Love that. And we have a pocket disruptor at D tackle and a grip breaker at D tackle. Okay. Now I'm all the way in on the Bulldogs. I love this defensive line. We're gonna have 4 guys with abilities out there, 2 quick jumps on the outside, a grip breaker, and a pocket disruptor on the inside. Really, really like the looks of that Fresno State defensive line. We'll see if they can make some plays against the short king quarterback of New Mexico State. At linebackers, we got CJ Lake with bouncer, 81 speed, another 81 speed, Kavion Thunderbird, one of the best names in the entire game, and Stutt at our will linebacker. Our secondary, 91 speed Cam Cole, only 5'10", 94 speed Amarian Ashley, 5'10". So we got good speed out at the corners, but yeah, this is nice. 6'2", only 88 speed compared to the other guys, but having that extra height I think makes a pretty big difference. And he's got quick jump. I never bliss my slot corners. We'll see if Fresno State does. Okay, so very solid corners. I'm really liking the look of this Fresno defense, honestly. Ethan Tierney, shout out to Calb, Illinois, shout out Northern Illinois Huskies. Silver house call, 6'2", 86 speed, but then back here, Grimes, house call and robber in 91 speed. I feel like we gotta find some spot to put that guy. Strong safety, Mauzan, 92 speed, 5'11", a corner actually up playing strong safety. Makes sense. If your other option is an 80 speed Grant Dubois, you got to find somebody else to put there. Maybe you could throw that free safety up in that spot. Does he use him as the sub linebacker? No, Thunderbird and Bernard. So he's going to be pretty slow over the middle of the field here. We'll see if that ends up coming into play. And slot corner is going to be Beatty. So we have that free safety, but just no spot for him. I think I'd be throwing him at strong safety or sub linebacker or something. I feel like you got to get this guy in there. But that is the overview of New Mexico State and Fresno State. That's how their rosters look. Let's just hop into the game. Actually, let me check really quick. Did I write down what? Let's check their playbooks really quick because I forgot to write that down. And I always like to know what playbooks they're in before we hop into this game. So we'll check New Mexico State and Fresno. What playbooks are we got here? Old Dominion's going to have one more game in South Carolina. I like to mix up my playbooks all the time. New Mexico State is going to be in the Oregon spread and 4-2-5 on defense. Fresno State is going to be, drum roll please, they will be in Arizona and the 4-2-5 defense. All right. So that covers everything I think we need to cover. Let's just hop into the game. Good luck to Kay. Good luck to Spoofman. Good luck to everybody in the Mountain West and Sunbelt here. Let's wrap up week 9. And it is going to be Spoofman starting with the ball first here. As usual, we are going to watch the first offensive drives of each one of these teams, get an idea of what we can expect throughout this one. Then we'll start jumping around a little bit and just kind of focusing more on scoring opportunities. So we go for a little jet. First play of the game there, New Mexico State all over defensively, though, brings them down for a gain of nothing. 2nd and 10. I like we're user in the slot over there. Kind of like that idea. Manned up that outside. Okay, so we got a few adjustments going on here for New Mexico State on the defensive side of things. Let's see what Fresno's going to try to answer back with. Ooh, a little dangerous deep crosser just over the top. I believe we have 5-yard hook set for New Mexico State, just over the top of his noggin. Good ball there by Eli Baggs. That was a awful tight window, but hey, first down's a first down. Fresno staying in this tight Y off offense, which I do like. I think there's some good things in there. We are going to go to Rivers. See, little jitterbugs, man. I'm telling you, there's something about these little halfbacks like Roche and this Rivers. They're what, 5'7", 5'6", something like that, that they can just squeeze their way through the smallest little gaps and find some room. There's something to it. I'm convinced. I'm absolutely convinced. You cannot tell me otherwise. See, and he's fighting through tackles. I love Devin. I think we're going to go with Devon Rivers, and I'm still going to call him Devin Roach just because that's what's embedded into my brain. I've been calling him that before actually finding out his name is pronounced Roche. So here we are. Looks like we are keeping some match coverage here with the seam flat over on the right. Again, give it back to Rivers and see how quick he just can boop right through that line. I'm telling you, there's something to it. I've been tempted to go into the 4-2-5. Just I'm so used to it because like every team in Road to the College Football Playoff, it seems like, has a 4-2-5. Boy, some guys were just put on their backs on that run, but we try to stretch it out just a little bit too much and end up getting nothing. But yeah, I'm just so used to 4-2-5 because like every team in Road to the College Football Playoff has it. And if you're watching this not familiar with the main channel, link for that's also in the description. We go through and play Road to the College Football Playoff and get a win with every team in the game. So I use 4-2-5 all the time. Oh wow, absolutely cooked him out there on the right. That's, of course, it's Devon Rivers. Of course it is. Guy is unbelievable, making plays through the run game, on the ground, in the air, whatever you need him to do, he is going to get it done for you. First down, Fresno, down to New Mexico's 33. I like mixing up our little empty, mixing a little bit of empty, getting some tight Y off, mixing in all these sort of formations. Now we got a bunch over to the short side here. Tight end on the line, Rivers in the backfield with Eli Baggs. See what the call is going to be here. Maybe an RPO. No, swinging everybody out. Tries to go underneath on the drag. The 5-yard hook, number 37 there of New Mexico State was right there. Kind of scared them into a turtle position down on the ground there. Ends up being a gain of nothing. And now we're mixing in a little bit of trips tight end. Another very good formation here. Going with the RPO. Tried to sneak a hard flat over there on our defensive end. He ended up getting blocked, but the slot corner is there to make that tackle. 3rd and 10. I mean, Baggs is at least getting good completion percentage here. We just need to work on our yards a little bit. So it looks like we like 4-2-5 on 1st and 2nd down, and then now double mug again here on 3rd down. Mixing in a little stunt here as well. Mabling over that right side. Gonna have a hard flat on the end. A purple zone on our slot corner over there. And then some deep blues Really trying to just take away the wide side of the field, which I think makes sense. But Fresno goes right back over the middle, takes a gain of 4. Do we go for this? Be a 46-yard kick. You are at home, which is nice. Don't have to worry about stadium pulls. We are going to try the kick. I wouldn't trust my ODU kicker for this. I'll tell you that much. Let's see if Fresno's kicker. It is up. It is. Sneaks in there. That's about as close as you could possibly get. I don't know how that one ended up going in, but the kick is up. The kick is good. Fresno goes down and gets 3 points on the opening drive, and will take us to our first game break of the day here with Georgia State and Appalachian State. This one just got underway. 5 minutes and 12 seconds in the first. Appalachian State, a beautiful opening drive here. Already down to Georgia State's 12, 40 seconds into the game, essentially. Speaking of superstar halfbacks, we saw Devon Rivers of Fresno State make an impact on their opening drive. McCord of App State takes that screen in for the touchdown. But then on the ensuing kickoff, Georgia State takes it right back to the house. This Georgia State offense, special teams, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I just realized that's all messed up. The game footage isn't cropped right. Whatever. Georgia State takes the kickoff back for the score. I'll fix that here in just a second. Georgia State takes it in 7-7, about a minute into that one here. So now New Mexico State with the ball. A nice little run right up the gut immediately for Jamie O'Shea, picking up an early first down for the Aggies. Now a little bit of a bunch look here from New Mexico State. A little return motion coming over on B. This is an interesting looking play. Curl route over on X, so if that's one-on-one, that's probably where we're looking. Instead, we'll just take one quick over to the right flat there. It's number 31, Matt Banks, with that catch, fighting his way through, picking up some yardage. At least we get 3. We'll go ahead and take that. Let's stand in some bunch strong offset. We're going space and switch or dagger. That is my question for you, and we will all find out here in just a second. Again, just rambling and saying nothing. That's kind of what I like to do. It is going to be dagger. Let's see how we're going to do this. Blocking. Yeah, let's see the setups here. Going deep corner out, streak, blocking the tight end and the halfback. No, we're sneaking the halfback out on a streak in between them. Blocking the tight end. Oh my gosh, there's just a lot going on here. Stem down corner. Tries to get it over to his halfback, and that might be the height of Thomas Hyde coming into play there. Didn't really look like too much pressure coming at him, but it just gets kind of spiked into the dirt. That might be our first example of having that 5'9" quarterback coming back to bite New Mexico a little bit. So we're going with corner strike here, but to the short side. We're gonna have a flat, a return, and a post. Going with that return right in that little pocket in between the two zones. That's what that route combo makes sense. The flat's going to kind of drag an outside zone to the outside. Inside zone, still going to have to worry about the tight end. Opens up a little soft spot, a little pocket there to hit that whip route. Send up a 4th and inches. Do we go to goal line? Is that what we just saw? This would be a little goal line from New Mexico State. I don't hate it. I just hope it. I hate it if it's a QB sneak, but Fresno doesn't seem ready for it. No. They were not. You really got to call, what is it, like a pinch or something like that. Something that's attacking the A gap, then get your user down in that spot too, and you're going to blow up a QB sneak pretty much every single time. We saw him not doing that. QB sneak is there. Go ahead and go for it. Pick up that first down. I like the aggressiveness early here from New Mexico State. And yeah, these teams are 3-4 and 3-5. But we know New Mexico State's already played a few games, really good games. So has Fresno. Oh, we need a block there. Number 8. Who was that? 86. Jerry Lydiat of New Mexico State. Totally whiffing on that block on a potential. I mean, he had a lot of room to run on that if he actually holds that block for us. Back into bunch strong offset. Oh, this is such a good RPO. Yeah, you can throw that. And then he's going to get that block. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's just such a good RPO. Matt Banks, again, taking it to the bank, picking up a first down. Fresno State, end of the first quarter. Let's throw it quickly to another game break here with a minute left in the first. FIU up big early against the USF Bulls, but USF is not going to go down easy. We've seen the fight from these boys. Go to a little 5 wide, hit a little screen out to the right, and big boy number 81 fights his way through, finds the gap, rides the defender all the way down to the 2-yard line. First and goal for the Bulls. Trying to make this one a little bit little bit more of a game. We're going to come back out. We're going to go with a QB run. And again, the toughness of USF. He gets pile driven, pile drove, however you want to say it, into the ground there by the defensive tackle, but he will not be denied. Touchdown USF. Bring that one to 22-7 in favor of the FIU Panthers. Now back to our main event. We're trying a little run up the middle there to Jamie O'Shea, but the Fresno State defense is there. They are ready for it. They are all over it. So now Fresno goes to a little, looks like normal Y off, little classic mesh here. Tries to force one over the middle to our drag from the slot receiver, and Fresno's defense absolutely all over him that time. Almost lucky that one isn't headed back the other way. 3rd and 11. I mean, I can't imagine we're in field goal range here at the 37-yard line. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. I would guess we are not. We're going with a little classic Y sail from normal Y off close. One of the best plays in college football 25, you had that defensive line just came hollering in. That was kind of a concern. We saw how good that Fresno State defensive line looked. There wasn't much on the New Mexico State offensive line. Pressure comes in immediately. We just have to take that down to the flat, and we are going to try a 53-yard field goal. Color me impressed if this goes in. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm impressed. Heck of a kick there by K. Ties this one up at 3. We'll throw it to another game break. I know we just did one, but this one's with 6 minutes left in the second, so second quarter just started. Utah State and Tulsa. Our first glance of this top 15 matchup. Tulsa down by 7, but with the ball at the 14-yard line. Going to give it to his guy right up the gut. In for the Golden Hurricane touchdown. Ties this one up at 7, but just like what we saw with App State and Georgia State, just because you score a touchdown doesn't mean you are safe. Tulsa kicking it off deep. Utah State's just got speed all over the field, including this gentleman, Paler, and that just doesn't get much easier than that. I mean, wide open, and a good play here by Fresno, too, by the way. Okay, we're going to have to rewind that for just a second. Paler in for the touchdown. Fresno in for the touchdown. A little double game break action coming at you. Let's see what the heck happened here. We come out in a heavy single back set, and Fresno doesn't even have like that great of tight ends. I can't believe this guy just outran everybody. Was that Gavin Correa, tight end 1, number 86? It's what it looked like. Not even a play action. Looked like just a little tight end attack. Hit that deep post or deep in over the middle. Beautiful downfield blocking in Fresno State. Wow. That's the dangers of doing the game break. Sometimes we're going to miss some things. We can just go back and take a look at it, though. Oh, it was actually drive, and he hits that in for the touchdown. Fresno up by 7, just like that. But here come K and the Aggies fighting back, getting it ball past midfield. Now, they already did convert on another 4th and 1 on this drive. It was a pass this time. It was not another QB sneak, but we did convert, so that's all that really matters. So 3.5 left in the second here. On to Fresno's side of the field, going with a little double stack. Interesting. I didn't know Oregon has so much crazy stuff in their playbook. Whoa, what a juke there. Oh my goodness, AJ Williams bouncing off the tacklers, keeping it going, keeping it alive. What a play by AJ Williams. That's our 6'3". That's our wide receiver 1 for a reason. He is just showing out on that play. Brings New Mexico down to the 11-yard line, looking to tie this ball game up. Going with a little toss there, but the defense absolutely all over him. Jamie O'Shea had some things going there on that first drive. First play of the game, but ever since then, this Fresno run defense, it's going to be tough to run on that defensive line. I mean, it is mainly pass rush abilities, but we do have a grip breaker in there at D tackle, and just overall wise, that defensive line, much better than what we've got with New Mexico State's offensive line. So I do imagine the run game is going to be a little tough to get going here. Now we're looking through the entire Oregon playbook. Yeah, I do love the Oregon playbook. You do kind of have to get a little creative, get a little funky, call some plays like this with a big motion coming across with your halfback starts all the way out on the right. So we got a flat, a return, and a drag. And we got a timeout. Never mind. But it does look like we're setting up something fairly similar here, but now with a little corner over on B. I like the looks of that. So O'Shea just kind of motions back into the backfield. X. I was a little nervous. The little guy, Thomas Hyde, wasn't going to be able to actually make that throw, but layers it just over the top of the linebackers, finds his man just past the goal line. Touchdown. New Mexico State, 10-10, 2.5 to go. In this one, speaking of 2.5 to go, it's another game break time. Back to Utah State and Tulsa. This time, though, things are not looking so good for our Golden Hurricanes. 21-7 lead now for Utah State. And we are dropping back to pass. I don't know what our left edge rusher was doing there. He was trying to come in from the sidelines to make a play. Must have been just something with the alignment or something, but he really swung all the way down there. Touchdown Utah State, making it 28-7 in that one. The Aggies looking pretty good to get back on the winning track after their loss to San Diego State just a week or two ago. We'll jump ahead a little bit here to a minute and a half left now. Fresno State with the ball at midfield, 3rd and 8. Trying to get this lead back before taking this into halftime. Let's see what they are going to call up. Back to our tight Y off. So this is kind of what we started the game in, and we saw a lot of pretty good things in here. Cover 2 drop with a defensive tackle dropping back into zone here as well. Users the defensive tackle, and oh my goodness, nearly intercepted again. We've seen some pretty close calls on each side of the ball here. That is your defensive tackle. He's probably not gonna make a play like that, but at least he did force the incompletion. Fresno State is gonna have to punt it back to New Mexico State. And really, I don't believe much happens here before halftime. 3rd and 6, let's see this one. 3rd and 6, 20-something seconds left here before half. Looks like we're pretty resigned to just take this tie game into half. If we're New Mexico. Yeah, because we're running out the clock. We're just probably going to chuck something at some point here. Oh, a nice little halfback wheel. Sneaking one out to Jamie O'Shea to the right there. Now we're going to take a timeout. Now we might as well try something, right? Why the heck not? There's got to be something good in this Oregon playbook to try to attack something really deep. Let's see what we can find. Vert Z fin. I like the looks of that. Oh no, double pass. Oh my goodness, you madman. You absolute madman. Going with a double pass. It's in up. They're pretty ready for it though. Deep safety stays back, gets the interception. And excuse me, I had something stuck in my throat there if there's a weird cut there. Goes and takes a dive down there with 2 seconds left. Give the offense a shot to Hail Mary one. Why the heck not? I mean, you're not getting into field goal range and getting down and still having time to kick. That would take out the rest of the 2 seconds. You weren't returning that for a score. Why not just go down, see if Eli Baggs can just heave one deep, and he does. That's that throw. Oh my goodness, I thought that was getting caught. Oh, did I think that was getting caught? There's that throw power of Eli Baggs, putting that one all the way down to the back line on a little Hail Mary there before half. So we're going to have one more game break of a game still in the first half here with Georgia State and Appalachian State. That one is now 21-21 with 53 seconds left in the second. So this easily could have been a game of the week. It's just we already featured both these teams. And we're playing Georgia State again. We find number 88 right over the middle of the field. Those big boys of Appalachian State in the wide receiver room, taking that one in for a touchdown, making that one 28-21 for the Mountaineers. Let's go ahead, and I think we can just head to the second half. Yep, let's go ahead, pick it up in the second half. Where a nice pass to Jamie O'Shea has already set New Mexico State up on Fresno's side of the 50-yard line. Another little sneaky halfback streak out of the backfield to our guy. That was interesting play art, but we'll find our tight end right over the middle. Take our nice easy 9. So we had that one example of Hyde, red passing one to the halfback, and I'm assuming that's because of his height. But other than that, we've been hitting some short throws over the middle, some intermediate throws over the middle. I feel like his height hasn't been as big a concern as I was kind of worried it was going to be. We're going to go with a little inside zone here to Jamie O'Shea, and look, there we go, boys. There's the big boys up front of New Mexico State getting out there, laying down some blocks, giving some room for our guy to run. 1st and 10 now at the 17. Now, what formation is this called in Oregon? I'm so bad at remembering formation names, but again, right over the middle, even with some pressure, looked like potentially coming through the line there. Hyde is able to dump that one. He's 16 for 19, 162 yards and a touchdown. Maybe height doesn't mean all that much. This 5'9" quarterback absolutely slicing and dicing this Fresno State defense here so far. This is a little RPO. with that slide motion. It is. Hit the slide motion. Take it up the gut there. Big boy number 26. Oh my. Look at the fight. Look at the fight from number 26. Punching his way in there. How did I not? I don't have written down who number 26 is. I must have just looked right over it. But the big man spins off the tackle, fights his way in. Touchdown, New Mexico State. Roughing the kicker there. That was probably a computer. That happens a lot. Not really a ton we can do about it. So great answer coming out of halftime there for New Mexico State. Let's take it back to one more game break here of FIU versus South Florida, where South Florida, in our last game break where we left off, it was 22-7. From 22 to nothing in the beginning, it is now 29-24. But FIU with the ball up by 5 down at the 10-yard line. Rhett and his Panthers looking to get back into the comfort zone here on offense a little bit, dropping back to pass, finding our guy A over the middle somehow, some way. That was an awful tight throw to get that, but it does pick up the first down, setting us up for a first and goal. Down to the 5, go with a little outside zone to Slayton, takes it to the pylon. Touchdown Panthers, putting them back up by 2 scores. But what a comeback effort so far that's been from USF. We'll see if he's gonna be able to finish the job. All right, let's get back to our main event. The spoof man and his Bulldogs offense is back on the move here to the right to midfield. We'll be generous and call it midfield. Back to that single back formation we saw them score the touchdown in earlier with drive. This time going a little play action. The whole defense bites, but not enough. Can we get out and run there with bags? Not quite. It looked like everybody on that defense was flying to the left to follow that play action, but by the time we got that rollout, the defense was set over on the right. We didn't have a ton for it there. So 2 minutes left now. Single back wing. I'm surprised to see Fresno pulling out the single back. We've seen a little bit of everything in this game between these two teams in their offensive playbooks. Fresno State in Arizona, New Mexico State in Oregon. That is oh my goodness, the left streak just absolutely cooks them. Jaleel Die Hard McLean absolutely burns by the cover 3 sky. Just had no chance. Bags finds him down the left. Touchdown Fresno. Back to a tie ball game, 17-17. We do got a couple more game breaks. I feel like I'm doing too many, but you guys will have to let me know your opinion on that. But another game break. Georgia State, Appalachian State, 28-21. We saw Appalachian State take that lead right before half. Now 3 minutes left in the third and 6, but pinned all the way back at their own 5-yard line. Dropping back to pass, intercepted by Georgia State. They take that one in for the touchdown, ties that one back up at 28 apiece. And actually, while we're here, one more. Bang. 3 minutes left in the third. Utah State up by 21 against Tulsa. And this one I just really want to show frickin' Daniel Hill. This guy just bounces right off of him, You see his platinum downhill light up twice as Hill takes that one in for the touchdown, and Utah State picks up the gigantic win. Tulsa was number 4. Utah State was number 15. But, you know, we're in week 10, so that all kind of got updated. And Utah State jumps Tulsa, wins that one 49-14. The Aggies seem to be finding their momentum here a little bit. Now let's see if the New Mexico State Aggies can do the same. Do you like how I tied those two together? I certainly do. Back to this little return. Hits the return again. Looks like the defender is down on it that time. Indeed he is, but he does pick up the first down. And from there, New Mexico State has got it past midfield here yet again. Both these offenses, I feel like, are playing pretty dang well, especially considering, you know, the overalls of the teams. But both offenses, I think, have really been putting it together nicely. Go with a little sprint rollout to the left. Little guy Hyde takes that one and picks up the first down all by his dang self, and that'll take us to the end of the third. 17-17 ball game. And as we've seen with Kay's kicking ability, we are already in field goal range. We will just give that one to Jamie O'Shea right up the gut there. A little inside zone split. I've never really liked the blockings on inside zone split. I don't know, something about it just sets up weird to me. I don't like them. It's probably just because I don't understand it. So we are pressing over on the outside left. Going a little comeback, or just a tiny little curl, motioning back and forth, seeing what's going on. Little Y sail here. Tries to dump one right back down to Jamie O'Shea in the right flat, but the defense all over him. Maybe got rid of that one a little quick. Has Fresno State been using the defensive line this entire time? I just noticed he was on a D tackle that time, but he might have just got stuck on him. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to to the Fresno State user to see where he's at. Little PAA slide here again, pressing over on Williams. That's our #1 guy. He is using the defensive line, so we can get out and run here. Some 10-yard, looks like some 10-yard zones from Fresno all over every route we were looking for there. Kind of just has to throw that one away at the end. Let's see if we are going to have to settle for this long field goal. We are going to try it. Another, was it 49-yard kick? I mean, we made a longer one before half. The guy's automatic. Guy's just straight up automatic. Unbelievable. Kicks up, kicks good. 3-point lead for the Aggies. Now Fresno with the ball, down by 3. 4th and inches immediately. I believe we took a touchback there to get the ball to the 25. Now, is he going to try to QB sneak? See, New Mexico State's ready for it, though. He gets right in that gap. He can't QB sneak against that. Tried to flip it over to the left. It doesn't matter. That is just perfect QB sneak defense, and New Mexico State is going to take over on downs. What a swing in this game. I feel like the first big stop we've seen from either team so far there comes from New Mexico State and gets them the ball at the 34. Definitely in field goal range from what we've seen from K and his New Mexico State special teams. Now we're back in that bunch. It's something bunch empty. I don't remember. Quads. Empty quad. No, it's not empty because there's a halfback there. Oh, there it is. Bunch quads offset. That was kind of close. I had the bunch in the quads part. New Mexico State working clock a little bit here. There are no rules when it comes to like change or chewing clock. You can do it whenever you want. This to me, this makes sense as the time you want to chew the clock. You're up by 3 at the 36. Get blown up again on that pin pull toss. That's a couple times we tried that run. Feel like that just hasn't really been there against Fresno. Those toss plays out of pretty much any formation, I feel like you just need to be going up against the exact kind of defense. Like it needs to be a big cover 0 blitz, big condensed defense. Other than that, I feel like they are just not very good. Well, 3rd and 11. I thought for sure we were going with something with O'Shea coming out of the backfield here. Well, we're taking a timeout, so maybe we will. I think we are. We did come out, looks like in dagger this time. And we know last time, yeah, it likes the streaks, the corner, and then sneak your halfback out on a streak. Yep. Wouldn't surprise me at all if we're just looking for O'Shea here. We got him. Oh, had him. We go with a drag underneath. AJ Williams, you dirty dog. Catches that one a good 5 yards short of the sticks, but he will not be denied. Picks up the first down for the Aggies. Love to see it. I think we might have been able to get O'Shea, but hey, it's a first down, so we'll go ahead and take that. Now a little wildcat. You are a wildcat, Mr. New Mexico State. We are going to give it to O'Shea, trying to get around that edge, but Fresno State, their edge defense on these runs, the tosses, jets, all been very, very good. So now a 2nd and 14. I mean, a field goal, of course, does make it a 6-point game, forces Fresno to get a touchdown. But a touchdown, you feel like it's almost game over. So I wonder if we're going to get a little more aggressive here and try to push this ball downfield. Oh, or we're looking for an RPO. RPOs, you can still push them downfield, especially now that you can hot route RPOs. Whoever decided that was a good idea, shame on you. We're gonna go with the bubble to the right and out to the left. Let's see, are we gonna put anything else on A? Maybe throw them on like a streak or something. Nope, we're just gonna go with a bubble, and it is there. Can we get outside? We do indeed. Matt Banks, Banks has been impressing me a lot here for New Mexico State. It's a few RPOs, a few catches in the flat, but he's been able to get outside and make a few things happen against this very stout Fresno State defense. I feel like both defenses have been a lot of bend but don't break. They're not giving up the easy plays. They're making everybody work. I like it. And I also like seeing a little full house and keep it and go. Keep it and go. Oh my goodness. What a run. What shifty moves there by the Navi from Avatar. I've never actually seen any of the Avatar movies. Fun fact about me. I was going to talk about like what planet they were on, but I have no idea. But the Navi takes it in. New Mexico State up by 10 now. Less than 2 minutes to go, but this one ain't over yet. One that also Well, it is over after this game break. 35-28 lead now for Georgia State against Appalachian State. But one thing we know about these Mountaineers, they've got mountain men out at wide receiver. So we can just chuck one up. Let's see what happens. Surprise, surprise, the bulldozer is going to be the one getting up, getting big, climbing that ladder, and getting the touchdown for Appalachian State. But they go for the fake. They go for the fake field goal, or the fake extra point to take the lead with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. They fail on that, and that ends up actually being our final score is 35-34. The win for Georgia State. They survive yet again. Puts them at 8-0, I believe, heading into our into our user game coming up against them. We'll throw that up on the screen here. 35-34, Georgia State with the win over Appalachian State in an absolutely wild game. That was 21-21 in the first quarter. The game was insane. Congratulations to Georgia State. You will have Old Dominion coming to town actually tonight as I'm recording this. So now Fresno State hits New Mexico with a taste of their own medicine there. A little halfback streak out of the backfield to Devon Rivers. That's a thing. We noticed Fresno going early a lot to Rivers, and then we did start skipping around a little bit, so maybe we just missed it. But I feel like those early plays to Rivers, we had a good momentum going on offense and kind of went away from him here a little bit. Now in the clutch, we're going right back to him. Another little halfback streak, picking up the first down onto New Mexico's side of the 50. And yeah, I'm telling you, this game's not over yet. It may seem over, but it ain't over yet. Doing a little Tampa 3 here on defense with our zone drop set to the moon, saying, you know what, you want to keep taking underneath? You certainly can. Keep burning that clock 10 yards at a time. We can live with that. And then we'll just, okay. We'll take you up on that offer. We'll give that to the Givens tree right underneath, picking up another first down. Stops the clock, at least for a little bit. It is back up and running now. Oh, I thought we were, it looked like we were switching to man there for a second, but no, we're going to stay in our Tampa 3 zone drop set to the moon. Again, just going right underneath, back to Rivers, another first down. It's kind of like we're in almost a little bit of a prevent defense here with New Mexico State, and that has let Fresno march right down the field here. 40 seconds to go, ball at the 15. Now, 2 timeouts left. We do have to score and the no huddle, keeping the zone drops on the moon. We got to like reset our play back to a cover 2 to reset those zone drops, because that is just going to give up the underneath over and over and over again. No huddle again. Absolutely. 26 seconds. Fresno State trying furiously for a last second comeback here, and they are getting awful close. New Mexico does take their timeout. Yep. Change our zone drops here. Change your safeties. Change all that stuff. Get all that. That's a good use of a timeout there. Now we got them all set to 5. Fresno still might be able to get under 5. But there's not, you can't, I mean, you could set your hooks on 0, but that'd be kind of crazy. Instead, it is going to be Rivers right up the gut, right into that beautiful checkerboard end zone of Fresno. In for the touchdown. Now, yeah, you go for 1, make it a 3-point game. Yep, and then it's going to all come down to this onside kick. 22 seconds remaining. Fresno down by 3. I don't think we've ever seen anybody get an onside kick yet. Setting the stage. And here it comes. 45 with the kick. It's beautiful. Number 3 fumbles it of New Mexico State, and Fresno picks up the onside kick. Kept both their timeouts. Has the ball at the 45. Down by 3. What heart from these Fresno State boys. You get the ball back down by 10 with less than 2 minutes to go. Easy to just turtle up and, oh, woe was me. We can't win this game. This one's over. But these boys kept fighting. Kept finding the underneath. Kept going to Rivers. Kept making things work. And here we are with a shot. 20-something seconds left. Rivers, you got to stay in bounds, buddy. I was just talking you up. I was just saying how good you've been playing this game. We need you to stay in bounds on that. That animation drives me insane. Why would he be running like that? Well, I mean, at least it stops the clock, I suppose. So now we got 19 seconds, still 2 timeouts. Need a little bit to get into field goal range. Go right back to Rivers again. New Mexico State just dropping everybody back so far, leaving that underneath wide open, and we will go ahead and take that to Rivers. Now going to wide trips. I mean, we probably need 1 more first down. Well, I think we did reset our zone drops here again. It's just if you're shading over the top, then those hooks drop back super far. And again, we got Rivers again. Fresno takes their last time out. Do we even try one more play? No, we are just going to come out in the field goal right now. Try 52-yard kick. We've seen both of these guys nail long field goals already. It's all going to come down to this. New Mexico State is going to ice the kicker. 7 seconds left. All the pressure in the world. You could hear a pin drop in the stadium right now. And not just because there's nobody here, just like Old Dominion. But the kick is up. The kick is no good. He's playing the tuba over there with the band, and that is going to do it for this one. New Mexico State survives 27-24. What a freaking game that ended up being at the end there. Beautiful comeback there by Fresno. Just kept taking what New Mexico was given. You know, we got a minute 50. With the way the college clock is, first down kind of stops the clock a little bit. So we'll just keep taking those underneath ones, keep moving the ball down the field, score, somehow get the onside kick. I'm still not sure how you pulled that one off. You gave yourself a chance at the end there. Great game from both of these guys. I was very impressed. Both these guys were utilizing those halfbacks, especially in the passing game, getting those halfback streaks out, Texas routes, things like that. Very, very difficult for defenses to guard if you're properly utilizing your halfback like that. So overall, I mean, 280 yards to 340, a lot of that bend but don't break defense kind of thing, you know, 6 yards per play to 9. Neither team really able to get the ground game going, but look at the passing from both these guys. 25 for 29 for New Mexico State, 22 for 25 for Fresno State. Height really didn't come into play too much with that, with Hyde, the New Mexico State quarterback, except that one. That one was pretty rough. So wrapping up weekend 9 in the Mountain West, we do have Colorado State taking down San Diego State 38-21. Oregon State takes down UNLV 52-28. Oregon State has now found themselves ranked in the top 20. Utah State took down Tulsa, and New Mexico State beats Fresno. And then in our Sun Belt division, you saw Old Dominion took care of East Carolina 49-16. FIU ended up winning that game 50-38. I didn't actually show that after the last highlight, but FIU did hold on to win that one. Shout out to USF though, to come back and make that a game like they did was very, very impressive, and they will actually be featured on our next game of the week for week 10. They already played their game and it was a banger. The Sun Belt just delivering great games throughout this entire year so far. JMU took down Georgia Southern, moves them to number 17 in the country, and then Georgia State wins that one against Appalachian State 35-34. So let's take a quick look at our conference standings and everything here, and then that'll be a wrap on week 9. Only a few weeks left. Sunbelt, James Madison sitting on top at 4-0, Georgia State at 4-0. This is why it's a big user game coming up for us. We're 2-1 in the Sun Belt, and we lost to James Madison already. So if we lose to Georgia State, that would put them at 5-0 and us at 2-2. Worst he could do is 5-2. Best we could do is 5-2 and we'd have losses to the top 2. It would essentially just about lock up JMU and Georgia State. FIU's not out of it yet either. But yeah, it's looking pretty likely that this is going to be our Sun Belt championship match. Then in the Mountain West, how things currently sit, this could get spicy. We have 3-1 Oregon State, 3-1 UNLV, 3-1 Utah State, 2-1 Tulsa. We got a couple 2-loss teams hanging out down here too. So there could be some interesting drama coming from the Mountain West. It doesn't look like a ton in the Sun Belt, but that is how all the conferences stand here at the end of week 9. We are ready to head into week 10. We will have our user game against Georgia State coming up either tomorrow or the next day. We'll have our game of the week, which, unless something absolutely insane happens, is going to be South Florida against James Madison, which was a fantastic game. Spoiler, you probably can put 2 and 2 together who ended up winning that one. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. That'll do it for today. I will see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy.